Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And in today's episode, I'm going to be showing you your A320 Copilot. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future updates and future guides that will be coming down the road. Link to Patreon can be found in the description below. Okay guys, so the add-on or application that we're going to be checking out is called Flight Simulator First Officer Next. Now this application basically simulates or emulates a first officer in the aircraft. Now I have gone as far as installing and purchasing the Flybywire A320 profile. So the download of the software is free, and then you can buy the profile for the aircraft that's available. So I think there's 4 different aircraft. We'll take a look at what those are, but one of them obviously being the Flybywire A320. Cost me $12 US, so it really wasn't bad. And we're going to check out for the first time to see what this application is all about. I'm going to give you guys a minute here to just sort of peruse through the screen here as I chat. Feel free to pause the video and get an idea of what it is that it actually does. Now, as we continue on here, the reason why I have not done this, done any kind of prep work for this video or anything like that is because I always like to show you guys what it's going to be like from a first time experience. Is it complex? Is it very convoluted? Is it relatively easy to get started with? These are all things that I think play a big part into what makes an application good or bad. There are plenty of applications out there that are absolutely feature rich and can do so much, but they can be very, very difficult to learn. You know, one for me in that aspect is, for example, Little Navmap. I find Little Navmap to be a little cumbersome to learn how to use. However, it is an incredible piece of software that does an incredible amount. So, you know, it's a fantastic software, but it has, I feel, a pretty steep learning curve. And so that's why I always do these videos from a raw introduction, without any real prep work when it comes to these kind of applications, is because I like you guys to be able to see what it's like from a first time experience with limited information ahead of time. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with the show. Okay, so here is the application as you see it. Now, it does require FSUI PC7. However, it can be used with the free version. There's no further purchase required in order to make this work. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you guys is the license manager, because that's the one that caught me off guard. So here are the aircraft that are currently available. So it was 787, the Aerosoft CRJ, and the Bretic 737, which, yeah, I'm sure we all have opinions on that one. But anyway, so you can see that I bought the A320, and we're going to get into the configuration, but it can do quite a lot. And so I'm already feeling like the $12 US was absolutely worth it for the profile. So let's go ahead and you just, once you purchase the key, you can, you just come in here, you put your key in here, the email that you use to register it here, and then hit activate product. It takes care of everything else for you. And it even has this how to buy FSFO, takes you to their website, walks you through it. Again, it's very simple. And it really was. It was a relatively painless process. I really appreciated that. So, before we get into all of this, let's go into the next one that I wanted to check out, which was the configuration manager. I found this to be really impressive. Give me just a second. Let me get it up on the screen for you guys. I got to select it on. No, is it you? Nope, definitely not you. You? Nope, that's that. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. All right, boom. And then, oh, there's the boom again. All right, so here's that. Let me just bring this over here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you guys. I want to make sure you can see everything as I can. Okay, so these are all the different configurations that we can do. Acceleration height, I believe if we tell them to climb or descend, this is the altitude at which, or the speed. Oh, here you go. Copilot will call acceleration altitude once the aircraft reaches above ground AGL on takeoff. That's kind of nice. So you can actually set the typically I think it's about 1,400 feet is what we're using above ground. Landing lights. Let's see here. Let's just mouse over it. I don't know if it gives us a tooltip for everything. That's what I'm sort of checking. So, because I really liked that it gave a tooltip there. What about this one here? Okay, so I'm assuming the Copilot will take care of the landing lights at 10,000 feet, so you can set that. Ground speed, if you get too fast, you know, we can set this to, so typically we probably want this to be about, oh, going the wrong direction. Probably want this to be not much more than about 25 knots. At this speed, he'll warn us. He'll say, hey, you're going too fast on the ground. We're taxiing too quick. Engage VNAV and LNAV 800 feet above ground. Can you just, oh, there we go. That's what you, I wonder why. Okay. Speed, ground speed warning. The aircraft passes the speed. The Copilot will warn the pilot in command. Watch the speed. That's kind of cool. Landing lights set. Exit external lights is enabled. The Copilot will turn off the landing lights. Yep, that's exactly what that is. So this is really neat. I don't know about the VNAV and LNAV. Obviously, I don't think that's going to play much of a role here in the A320. Autopilot on. 1,000 feet. That's kind of awesome. He'll take care of the autopilot for you. Now, the one thing that I do like is it also has a voice command ability. So we can use a lot of this configuration. If we want to set it to 0, we can just then just give them the voice command, landing lights off, things like that, which I think that's probably going to be more fun. But we're just going to sort of see what it does on its own for today. Checklist response delays. I'll let you guys just sort of read through this. I'm not going to go through every single thing, but let's see here. Gear extension. Is enabled. The Copilot will lower the gear when the aircraft falls below this ground. We probably don't want. Well, actually, no, I guess that would make sense. 1,500 feet. Yeah, I guess that would be about right, huh? I was trying to think about what the initial fix altitude is, and I guess that's normally, you know, between 3,000 and 4,000. So I guess that would probably be about correct. Let's see here. Transponder options. This is pretty cool. Let's see here. I'm just looking at, oh, this is the other one that we want to change. So this is set startup power source. So by default, it's set to the APU, but obviously most times we're going to be using the GPU. Makes more sense, you know, saves on the fuel. You know, the APU is basically just a small jet engine. So let's see here. Set things in kilograms. Nope, we want pounds. And engage start sequence 2, then 1. So you can change that if you want engine 1 or engine 2 first. This is pretty awesome, man. Initial rollout call. 80 knots, so he's going to let us know, hey, we're set to 80 knots, and that's really handy because remember in the A320 you're supposed to put downward nose pressure in the or down on the flight stick until you reach 80 knots, then you bring it up, so that's kind of handy. And let's see here, manage center tanks. These are all the different. I'm not going to go through every one of these just because they gave us perfect tutorials here. You just mouse over it, tells you exactly what it does. Copilot goes at 400 feet on takeoff. That is awesome, man. Airspeed alive calls out 80 or 100 knots depending on the takeoff setting. Landing roll, Copilot will call 100 knots, 80 knots, 60 knots. Dude, that is awesome. And again, that's going to be handy because at 80 knots, you know, thrust reversers should be closed up. Dude, this is pretty slick. Okay, so let's just get started. These are some pretty interesting. You can tell them to program the FMS. When possible, the Copilot will set the aircraft position via last position option requesting your flight plan and sim brief. Flybywire A320, you must generate flight plan via sim brief. Okay, so we can do that now. I don't have. Let me find my sim brief pilot ID. I don't think it's going to work. I think that needs the digits. Oh, you know what? I know where we can find that. Let's grab that right now. I know you guys can't see the screen here. I'm just going to, well, here, I'll show you guys in case you're interested. Maybe some of you don't know. So if you have your SimBrief integration complete here, you go back to the FlyPad, and I think it's under settings, ATSU, I think it is. Yep, 110830. So now let's bring that configuration panel back. And I need to bring it back up on my screen, so bear with me. Let me move it out of the way so I can see. There it is. Oh, all right, so that was 110830. Okay. Download flight plan. Sure. All right, and I think that's it for the configuration for now. So we'll just come up here and hit exit. All right, so now we got everything ready. Oh, I was like, what is happening with that view? So now we're just going to walk through and see what he does. So we're just going to do pre-flight flow. Copilot's getting seated. This is cool.
Good afternoon, Captain.
Good afternoon. Performing safety checks. Now he just disabled the parking brake. I don't think we wanted that. We want that on. Probably have to check that in the configuration. Let's see what he's done. So we got external power. So he set the ground power like we told it to. Let's just let's monitor the overhead panel, see what he does here. Oh, you know what? Here, sorry guys. Let me get that out of your screen. Why do we have two of them? There. Just doing the self-tests. Ground power established. Here he goes. Oxygen supply. ADIRs. Setting external lights. Got nav and logo. Seatbelt signs. No smoking signs. Checking fuel pumps. Now, the seatbelt sign, I guess, would technically be incorrect because we're not done fueling the aircraft. So we'd probably want to make sure that we do that while he's doing everything else. There's the fire tests. Test completed. Let's go ahead and set our lights while he's doing that.
Heading out for the walk around.
And he just said he's heading out for the walk around. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so 524 seconds until he's done that. So naturally by this point we would be, well, let's set our fuel in the aircraft. Let's see here. We're going to come back here. We're using a sim brief. I just threw a real short flight plan together. I just sort of mess around here for a minute. Now let's go to the OFP. Let's set our fuel. 11,637. 11,637. Oh, nope. 11,637. There we go. Let's fuel it. Cool. Let's come down to the MCDU. Initialization, and we're just going to zip through this real quick because I want to see what happens when he gets back here. So, because we can hold control to skip this. So, let's see here. There we go. Flight plan. Let me see what our departure is. Like I said, I just sort of tossed one together. I wasn't really paying attention, so let's go down here and check it out. Do we have a SID? Nope. We're going direct to Ryan, direct to hot, coming in on the ping 1. So we do have an arrival. What was that? Ping 1 from hot, so hot's going to be the transition, and then we're going to have to check out what our approach is going to be, but that's all right. We'll just probably wing it here. Like I said, we're not actually going to fly. We're just going to sort of check things out. Well, we might fly. We might go just do a quick takeoff, but we're not going to complete the full flight. Just trying to show you guys what it's all about here. Let's see here. I forgot the departure runway. Guilty. 29 right. Okay. Oh, wait, this is... Darn it. This is the arrival, 08. Yep, I was going to say there should be an ILS for 08. And we're looking for the ping 1. Oh, there we go. Hot is the transition. And doesn't look like it has any vias available, so we're just going to go directly in. Alright, that's fine. And then departure is, we just need to set the runway, which is 2908. No star, or SID, excuse me. Flight plan discontinuity, that's fine. We're just going to come here, pull that out. We're going directly from 29 right up over to Ryan. So like I said, real easy flight. Let's get over to our initialization page B. Excuse me. I'm trying to go too fast. And let's see here, block fuels 11.6. Curious what the timing is to when we get this done. And again, I'm also rushing through it, so it's probably, you wouldn't normally go this fast. So, all right, and we're gonna do that and 0.0. Oh wait, no, not 0.0. Darn it. 0.9 up. And transition altitude 18,049 on the flex temp. Set our V speeds. And we're going to do 136 on V2. I always program to the MCDU just because it makes it easier than putting it up in the speed box. I don't know, I doubt that's proper procedure, but it gets me what I need with doing less work. Simulation purposes, it's fun. If you're in a simulator, might as well make it comfortable for you. You know what I mean? Okay, so as far as the MCDU goes, we're ready to fly. Alright, double check all that. Yep, cool. And, well, might as well walk through it real quick. Let's go over to plan. And let's just step through again. Yep, right on target. Hot is a little bit of a backtrack, but that's alright. Honestly, we could probably, let's see here, we're going, let me look at this again. Since we're waiting for our co-pilot, there's Ryan. So we're going to Ryan, then we're going up to hot. Seems like a really weird backtrack, but that's alright. We're not probably not flying the whole thing anyway, like I said. Okay, so that's done. Set it back to arc, or we can go to nav. Set our distance up at 40 here. We can grab our final runway heading here while we're waiting. I'm just loading up Navigraph. I need to see the departure plate. Or, not the departure plate, the airport diagram. I'm tired, guys. Forgive me for being a little bouncy here. Let's see here. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. 29 right. Final runway heading is 303 degrees. Which makes me wonder, why wouldn't it be runways 30 then? But anyway, 303 is what we're looking for. So let's grab that. Alright, that's set. And let's set our transponder code. Set the transponder to auto. Lock the doors. Right, and we are ready to roll. So I'm going to go ahead and hold control.
Walk around complete.
Nice. And it even says walk around complete. I don't know if you get how well you guys can hear. So set FCU, set altimeter. Oh, I doubt our altimeter is 299 or 2. Well, according to the... Oh, you know what? I don't have live weather on. Damn it. That's alright. Alright, check MCDU pages. Let's see what he's doing. He absolutely is zipping through it. Look at that. Pre-flight complete. Alright, so now let's walk through the pre-flight checklist.
Pre-flight checklist. Cockpit preparation. Completed. Passenger sign.
Oops. Signs are on. Am I missing something? I don't know what I'm missing here. Set. On. I have no idea how to do the voice. So I'm a little confused here.
On. Aiders.
Oh, you hit control.
Set. Fuel. Check. FMGS. Set. Altimeter. Set. Checklist complete.
Look at this. Oh, what did it do now? Before start flow. Starting the APU. There he goes. 73 seconds for aircraft to energize. Hold control to skip. For the sake of time, we'll skip it. Uh-oh. Problem detected with the APU. Oh, it's because it wasn't on. Oops. My bad. Shame on me.
Passengers, this is to inform you that the aircraft door is closed and we will be ready for departure. In order for us to push back, we would require that all passengers are seated with their seatbelts fastened and seats in the upright position. All carry-on luggage should now be
I hope you guys can hear the
secured
safety
in
message. There's a
compartments
safety
or
message
under the
playing.
seat in front of you. The cabin crew will be passing to make their final safety
All
checks
right.
before departure.
Before start checklist. Doors. Closed. Beacon. On. Parking brake.
Parking brake is set.
Set.
Yeah, so you hit control
Checklist
to hit
complete.
set. Dude, this is neat. Okay, so now it's time to I want to hit start engines, but I don't know if it's going to do the pushback. So let me drag this down for a minute. And let's start pushback helper.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by. And all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft. Standing by for pushback.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push. Parking brakes set.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brake off.
Parking brakes are released.
Cool.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Alright, he set the ignition mode. I'm worried that I might have messed up some of this sequence because I skipped on the Oh crap, I gotta turn the aircraft. Quickly.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brakes set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and
Ground.
control
You may
skip.
disconnect.
Okay, sir. Cleared to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
I really think okay, real quick while waiting, the other thing I did is I went over to, if I go back to home, went over to the pre-flight here. Okay, Came here and then hit get flight plan. Little pop-up popped up and said, do you want to download from SimBrief? I hit yes, and now we have everything else that we need. So this is pretty awesome. It's even got our V speeds in here. Fuel is low. Flex is incorrect, but oops. So there we go. Hit that again. There it is. Update nav. Make runways. Oh. Never mind. We'll wait on that. Alright, 10 seconds for starting engines. Let's see what happens here. So I think I'm the one who borked the start engine process. I think I got a little overzealous and I screwed him up when I stopped the APU. I think that was my fault. So we'll run the engines up and then see what he does afterwards. Because I really think that was my fault. I don't think it's fair to judge the application on that one. I interrupted the process. And I did it before the APU was even started, so that's totally my fault. I got absolutely overzealous there.
Stable.
Alright, that was perfect timing. So start engines is complete. Now let's let him go through. Oh, wow. He's already doing it. That man, he set the flaps. Beautiful. Holy crap. Let's go taxi checklist.
Taxi checklist. Flight controls. Checked. Trim. Checked. Briefing. Completed. Flap. Set. FMA takeoff data. Checked. Transponder. Set. Checklist complete.
Neat. Alright, let's taxi out to the runway. I'll see you guys in just a second here. Well, actually, I guess it makes more sense to keep you guys on board with this one. Oh, parking brake helps.
Parking brake off.
From the flight deck, this is your first officer. I wanted to take a moment to welcome you aboard. As you probably already noted by looking out the window, we have some pretty fair weather with us today that should aid in our on-time departure. We're not expecting any significant weather along the route today. We may encounter a few bumps as we climb out, but once we get up to altitude, we expect a pretty smooth ride. However, if that changes, we'll be sure to let you know. For now, though, just sit back, relax, and we'll have you in the air shortly.
Dude, that is awesome. I am already seeing the value for $12, guys. Alright, let's taxi above that warning speed and see what he does. Well, I think I set it for 25 knots is what I said, so we're going to add some power.
Watch ground speed.
Nice. There it is. Cool.
Watch ground speed.
Alright. Alright. Awesome. Let's do our takeoff test. He even set the auto brakes. I haven't set any of this stuff, guys. What's this over here? Oh, predictive wind shear. Alright, so he did not do that part. But again, I don't know if that was part of the checklist that I interrupted, so we'll see.
Watch ground speed.
Goodness gracious. That's probably why that was set to 30 knots. I'm going to increase that back up. Alright, there. It was 30. I know you guys couldn't see that, but I went back into the configuration, changed that back to 30 knots. It's kind of neat. Actually, there's no kind of about it. This is really neat. I'm really digging this.
Watch ground speed.
Really? I hit 30? Damn. Now, my understanding is that all of these checklists are developed based on the manufacturer recommendations and procedures, so not necessarily company procedures. Like I know some companies recommend that you leave the ignition or the engine master mode to ignition until after takeoff and before landing. In case of an engine out, you know, all you do is cycle it and the engine's already ready to go. That is something to keep in mind, that the checklist was designed based on manufacturer procedures, not company. Alright, so let's go ahead and lock down right here. Well, you know, I'm going to take the runway. And actually, I'm just going to tell them to start.
Before takeoff checklist. Engine mode selector. Set. Pack. Set. ECAM memo. Checked. Checklist complete.
Okay. I guess at this point it's just a matter of rolling.
Thrust set. Check. Speed alive. Check. 80 knot. Check. V1. Rotate. V2. Positive right. Gear up. Landing gear up. .400 feet. Heading select. VNAV. Acceleration altitude. Autopilot. Flaps up.
Now, the one thing he did not do that sounded like he should have there
Flaps up.
was triggered the autopilot.
Command A on.
Oh, never mind. He even changed the performance page. Let's get out of heading mode.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear. Up and off. Flap. Up. No lights. Spoilers. Off. Checklist complete. Passing 10,000 feet.
And he turned the landing lights off. Oh my gosh, this is cool. So, here's my thoughts right off the bat. I'm going to tell you right now, from an immersion experience, that was one of the coolest takeoffs I have had in Microsoft Flight Simulator to date. That was really something different. Much of the frustration when flying these aircraft, as cool as they are, when you talk about simulation, is it gets really hard to manage everything flying the aircraft, especially when you want to fly manually, making sure your lights get turned off on time, making sure the gears up, making sure the flaps are up, all these things that you walk through. I can't tell you how many times, you guys know that I leave my mistakes in my videos. It can get rather, daunting sometimes. And this is absolutely fantastic. This is so cool. I highly recommend you guys try this out. Again, it's $12 US to actually download the Flybywire A320 package. The software itself is free. The checklists seem, for the most part, pretty on point. There's a couple variances that I can tell from other videos, and then watching things like 320 Sim Pilot, hearing from real pilots. But I'm wondering, again, how many of those are company procedures that change versus the manufactured procedures of the Airbus procedures. So that's something to definitely take into consideration when you see the variances in the checklist. Is what we're used to based on a company procedure, or is this from Airbus, the way Airbus would do it straight out of the factory? So but guys, this is an incredible experience, and I'm absolutely going to be playing around with this more. We're going to do more videos on this, and I think the next one we're going to try out the all voice commands. I'm going to do some research and dive into that really deep, because I think the voice commands are going to make things absolutely incredible. Even if you want to keep things as point and click, if you can get it to the point, an option, I should say, is to have your co-pilot read you the checklist and you take action and then tell it set, check, etc. I think that's going to make a huge difference in the immersion that can be brought by this software. This was the most immersive startup and takeoff that I have had to date. It was incredibly fun. You wouldn't think that it would be all that great, because there wasn't a whole lot that I had to do in comparison to obviously previous videos. But it truly was. It was a really neat experience having that voice there, and the voices are so well done. They're not the computer generated voice. They're not that robotic, Dave or whatever it is from Microsoft's voice system. Is actually hearing the human voice, things like that. I think is huge, absolutely huge. Really impressed. I'm already very satisfied, and I know that I'm probably just barely scratching the top of what this software can do. So we're going to be diving into this pretty deep over the next few days. Definitely doing a couple more videos on it as I learn more about it and showing off more of what it does. But I can tell you right now, just from the little bit that I've experienced so far, it was a huge game changer, a huge immersion changer, and I am already very happy with my purchase. So fantastic work. I think it's Matt King is the developer's name. Beautiful work. This is such a cool application. Guys, let me know what you guys think of this down in the comments below. And if you have this software, tell me your experiences of it, and maybe any tips and tricks, leave down below. I'd love to check them out. As always, guys, stay safe and healthy. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope the week treated you all well, and I'll see you in the next one.